began many, many years ago, before you, him, and everybody was born. And it was in the early 30s. And Eastman Kodak Company had a promotion. They gave away box brownies. That was the name of the camera. And I started using that little box camera. And I liked it very much, and I continued for many, many years. It was a very exciting time. When World War II started, the Army gave me a job of being a specialist, photographer specialist. And I took photographs of the war in North Africa and then Sicily, Italia. And that was it. Then I came back when I finished, and I went to Hollywood. And from Hollywood to Milan. So here I am. This exhibition in Milano, for me, is very exciting. And I recognize that Milano is like art center of Europe and possibly the world, you know. I understand that the Last Supper with Jesus Christ was done here. I'm in good company, and I'm very proud, very pleased. People that I photographed have been all assignments given to me by publications, magazines. And I was very lucky that one of the magazines who gave me assignments was Life magazine, which was a very popular American magazine among people and also among the celebrities.
Il popolo d'Italia.
I could give you names, which I'll give you, but I know that when I give you these names, you'll walk away and you'll call me name dropper. And the names that I can mention is Marilyn Monroe, James Dean, John Wayne, Alfred Hitchcock, James Mason, Judy Garland, Frank Sinatra, and go on and on and on. And if I was old enough, and if I had the camera, I would take pictures of Jesus Christ at the Last Supper. But I'm not that old, and there were no cameras. It's been a passion for me, and it never changed all the way through. All that time, I do nothing else. Olaf is writing his life history.
Yeah. Well, you told it this afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The series are all after 2004. The strange thing it is that the older I get, the more quiet my photography is getting. I think the general theme in them is about that I enter as a photographer too late or too early into the scene. So let's say like with rain, you don't know what just happened in between the two people. It's the same with hope. And also with this series, that you don't know what are the people doing. And I think this is very interesting, that like in photojournalism, everybody wants to see the right moment. And in my stage photography, I'm showing more or less the wrong moment. At the School of Journalism, they said to me, well, come in and we start to educate photography. And from, I was then 18 years, from the first moment on, when I touched the camera, I really enjoyed the profession of photography. So I started in 1977, and then in 1985 I could start my own studio and earn my money with it. And it's growing. people start to ask me to make theater and film posters. So not really advertising, but cultural advertising. And from this cultural advertising, I was asked to do the bigger advertising. So the big campaigns like even Lavazza. When you do your own projects or you do a commercial projects, let's say with Lavazza, in the beginning they said, well, you can do whatever you like. And then I said, well, if I can do whatever I like, I throw away the cup of coffee. And then they say, no, because we need a cup of coffee. Well, this is the difference between commissioned and between your own work. When you do your own work, I can make the ugliest pictures in the world, but I make them because I like to make them. I think when you look at my pictures throughout years, it's always reflecting my state of mind. But I never want to provoke. I think that's not an interesting emotion. So when I was in the early 80s, it was more that I was sexual obsessed, of course, like everybody who's young. And let's say more aggression. And the older you get, the more milder and the more sadder and more wiser you get. I think I like to, the whole humankind. It's from small, tall, big, fat, ugly, beautiful, a lot of brains, no brains, every skin color. I think the human race, the human beings are very interesting, that everyone has his own beauty, and I like to study that. But I have to say that my communication through the pictures, I have a little bit better with women than with men. Because I don't have a sexual interest in women, I can manipulate them better, and I can communicate better with them my emotions. But I also have this with boys, but then I have to put away a little bit my sexuality. Everything you see is built in my studio, so I never work on location. Nowadays, sometimes when you have an assignment, I have to work on location, but I like to create, like in the 50s movie industry. I loved to control all my light, all my sets, every detail. I think there's a fantastic revolution in photography by the invention of the digital camera. You see, it's far more accessible for younger people, which is really nice. But at the other hand, it is a big danger because the technique is getting so easy that many people want to become photographer. But many editors in magazines, they say, okay, now I take you, next year I take you, next year I take you. And in the end, nobody of the young people can develop, into a real good photographer. Because to become a good photographer, I think you need at least 5 till 7 years studying, making pictures, getting chances from the editors, from people that give assignments. I make already a short movie since 1987, but the last few years I start to develop more an interest to make a short movie and combine it with my free work. And in this exhibition is the first time that I do also statues. But I think this creates an emotion together with photography that influences your way of thinking when you enter the exhibition. Next project, well, I would love to make a real big feature film, a remake of a Luchino Visconti movie. But this will take probably 5-6 years before. And then I'm dead.